Alright, let me tell you, working late in a Tokyo office building is a special kind of quiet. The kind of quiet that makes the hum of the vending machine sound like a symphony. But on this particular Tuesday, the quiet was different. I was alone, or at least, I thought I was. The last train was a distant memory, and my only companions were the flickering cursor on my screen and a mountain of spreadsheets. That's when I heard it, a whisper, right by my ear. Soft, breathy, and it smelled faintly of cherry blossoms and something else, something cold. I froze, my fingers hovering over the keyboard. Who's there? I called out, my voice sounding way braver than I felt. The only answer was the echo of my own words bouncing off the empty cubicles. I shook my head, telling myself it was just fatigue playing tricks on me. Overtime does weird things to your brain, right? I turned back to my monitor, but a chill snaked its way down my spine. The air had dropped a few degrees, and the hair on my arms stood on end. Then, I saw her reflection in the dark screen. Just for a second, a woman with long black hair cascading over her shoulders. She was wearing a pristine white dress, the kind you see in old movies, and her smile. It was beautiful, but it didn't reach her eyes. Her eyes were just dark, empty. I spun around in my chair so fast I nearly gave myself whiplash. Nothing. The office was as empty as before. The rows of desks stood silent, their chairs tucked in neatly. The only movement was the gentle sway of the blinds as the air conditioning kicked in. I laughed nervously. Okay, Kenji, I mumbled to myself. You officially need a vacation. I rubbed my eyes and decided to call it a night. I'd had enough of spreadsheets and phantom reflections. I started packing my bag, my heart still thumping a frantic rhythm against my ribs. I grabbed my jacket, slung my briefcase over my shoulder, and made a beeline for the elevators. The sooner I was out of there, the better. As I walked, my footsteps seemed unnaturally loud in the silence. Click, clack, click, clack. And then, another sound joined mine. A soft, shuffling sound, like silk dragging across the floor. I stopped. The shuffling stopped. I started walking again, faster this time. The shuffling kept pace. My blood ran cold. I didn't dare look back. I just focused on the glowing green button of the elevator call panel. It felt like it was a mile away. I reached it, jabbing the button repeatedly, as if that would make the elevator arrive any faster. The shuffling sound was closer now, right behind me. I could feel a cold presence at my back, a pressure in the air that wasn't there before. And then, that whisper again. But this time it wasn't just a sound, it was a physical sensation. A cold breath against the back of my neck that made me flinch. Leaving so soon, the voice was a melody, sweet and alluring, but laced with an icy undertone that promised anything but sweetness. I squeezed my eyes shut, praying for the elevator doors to open. Please, just leave me alone, I whispered, my voice trembling. A soft musical laugh echoed in the empty hallway. It was the kind of laugh that should have been charming, but in that moment, it was the most terrifying sound I had ever heard. The elevator dinged and the doors slid open with a gentle whoosh. I practically dove inside, spinning around and frantically pressing the closed door button. Just as the doors were about to slide shut, I saw her standing in the hallway, bathed in the fluorescent office lights. She was exactly as I'd seen her in the reflection. Stunningly beautiful, with pale skin, ruby red lips, and that long flowing black hair. Her white dress was immaculate. She tilted her head, a playful, almost seductive smile on her face, but her eyes were completely black, two endless voids that seemed to suck all the light and warmth out of the room. She lifted a hand and waved, her fingers long and slender. The doors closed, cutting off the horrifying image. I collapsed against the back wall of the elevator, gasping for air. My heart felt like it was going to explode. The elevator descended, and with each floor, I felt a tiny bit of relief. It was a dream, a hallucination. That had to be it. I stumbled out into the deserted lobby and pushed through the main doors into the cool night air of Tokyo. The city lights had never looked so welcoming. I ran to the nearest taxi stand, not looking back once. The next day I tried to convince myself it was all in my head, a stress-induced nightmare. I went to work, sat at my desk and tried to focus. But the memory of her black eyes and that cold whisper lingered. Every shadow seemed to move. Every creak of the building made me jump. I decided to work normal hours. No more overtime. Ever for a few nights. Things were quiet. I'd leave with my colleagues, chatting and laughing, trying to drown out the silence I now feared. But the company was facing a huge deadline, and my boss put the pressure on. One evening, everyone else had left, and I was still there trying to finish one last report. The sun had set, and the office was bathed in that same eerie twilight glow. I told myself I'd only stay for 10 more minutes, just 10. I set a timer on my phone, but as the minutes ticked by, the feeling of being watched returned. A floral scent, cherry blossoms and cold stone, drifted through the air vents. I tried to ignore it. I focused on the numbers, the charts, the data. Then my computer screen went black. Not off, just black. And there she was again. Her reflection, clearer this time. She was standing right behind my chair, her head tilted, that same beautiful, terrifying smile on her face. She slowly leaned forward until her cheek was almost touching mine in the reflection. I didn't move. I couldn't. I was paralyzed by a fear so profound it felt like my bones had turned to ice. In the reflection, she lifted a pale hand and gently traced the outline of my face. Her touch in the reflection was so vivid I could almost feel a phantom coldness on my actual skin. "You work too hard," she whispered, her voice a silken thread in the dead quiet room. "You should relax." Suddenly, all the monitors in the office flickered on at once. Every single screen displayed her face, dozens of her, all smiling that same chilling smile, her black eyes staring directly at me from every angle. The room was filled with her beautiful, terrible face. I screamed, a raw, guttural sound that tore from my throat. I kicked my chair back and scrambled to my feet, tripping over my own bag in my haste to get away. I didn't even bother grabbing my things. I just ran. I sprinted through the maze of cubicles, the images on the screens following me, her eyes tracking my every move. I could hear her laughter now, not just a whisper, but a full, echoing peal that seemed to come from everywhere at once. It was a beautiful sound, and it was driving me insane. I fumbled with the emergency exit door, my hand shaking so badly I could barely turn the handle. I burst into the concrete stairwell, the heavy door slamming shut behind me, cutting off the laughter. I didn't stop running. I took the stairs 2, 3 at a time, my lungs burning, my legs aching. I just needed to get out. I finally burst out onto the street, gasping and wheezing, collapsing onto the pavement. People stared, but I didn't care. I was free. I was alive. I never went back to that office. I quit the next morning via a frantic email giving no explanation. I couldn't. How do you tell your boss you're requitting because the office is haunted by a supermodel ghost with a predatory vibe? They'd think I'd lost my mind. Maybe I had. I found a new job, a boring one, in a brightly lit office that closes promptly at 5. I never work late, ever. But sometimes, when I'm alone, I'll catch a faint scent of cherry blossoms on the breeze, or I'll see a woman with long dark hair in a crowd, and my heart will seize in my chest. I'll look again, and it will just be a normal person. But the fear never really goes away. I know she's out there, and I know she liked me. She thought I was a hard worker. And frankly, that's the most terrifying compliment I've ever received. So if you ever find yourself working late in a Tokyo high-rise, and you hear a soft whisper or smell cherry blossoms, just pack your bag and run. Don't be a hero. Don't wait for the elevator. Because some compliments, you really don't want to stick around for. Thanks for listening, and don't forget to turn the lights on.